Right, what's happening, people? It's Brett here from Bad Intentions Boxing. I'm delighted to be joined by a current British champion and fingers crossed soon to be world champion, Leigh Wood. Leigh, fantastic to have you with us, buddy. How are you keeping?
Oh, good, mate. Thanks for having me. We're getting close now, very close.
Fight day is literally around the corner. You know, we're looking at the 31st, the first of the three matchroom fight cards that are going on in that garden. How do you prepare for a fight like this?
The same way we always prepare, especially now with my new camp, my new cell, my new trainer, Ben Davison. He doesn't leave any stone unturned. He comes up with the right game plan. And as soon as we know we're fighting, we get cracking and we start working on the things we need to work on, working on individual drills to help us get that game plan off effectively.
I suppose looking at it from the outset, what's very interesting is last time, it was a good fight against Reece Mould. That was definitely a good fight for the British title. From that, then there was lots of talk on Twitter, and I one myself was quite vocal about it. Why is he not fighting for a European title, etc., and all of this? And then, boom, supposedly out of nowhere, we've had this news that you're challenging for a world title. And the irony is that you defeated Reece Mould last time out, and this was supposedly supposed to be Josh Warrington's potential opponent if he came through the Lara fight. So, looking at their demise, this is a massive opportunity that's come on the back of it for yourself.
That's it. Everything's falling into place for me, innit? I had a lot of bad luck in the first half of my career, not getting fights, sitting around waiting. Fights got made, fell through. I was trying to get that British title fight again for so many years. I was in the gym without a fight sometimes for a whole year. Then I'd come back and I had 3 small old bills in a span of a year. Very frustrating time. So now since the summer Dave Cole, now to have a run of, not luck, but a run of good opportunities come my way. I feel like it's balancing out of it, and it's a great opportunity and I won't need another one.
I definitely think that, there's an emphasis as what you're saying there, keeping yourself active, consistent. You've almost had to go up to dip back down again, but actually you've now put yourself in a prime position. As you've always said with Ben Davison, since you got in this opportunity, I will win a world title. You look increasingly confident and comfortable sitting there in this position. So as fight fans, we can only soak this in. The possibilities potentially, if you win this fight, are endless coming onto that. With the other guys that we've got in the current British domestic dust-up, where and how do you see your career panning out if you win this fight?
Obviously, I don't want to look past it too much, but I'm confident in winning. So I have thought about the options. There's some massive fights out there for me. And at my age, I don't think defending that in an easy fight for the sake of getting a fight would be an option. I'd like to try and get another belt in a big fight, a unification fight. That's what I want to do at my age, and I'm at my best right now, my peak. And you don't know how long you're going to be there, so I want to fight, test myself the best I can. And we was trying to line up. We was going to go the WBO route before this fight and pursue that Navarrete fight because we heard that he's struggling to get opponents. So that was an option we're going to take. So that's an option. And also the week after me, Galahad Dickens, a massive fight, and the winner of both our fights would make for a really, really big fight. So who knows? I'm not looking past this fight, but there's a lot of options. So we'll see what happens.
I think definitely is what you said there, and that's a sensible option, with a lot of guys coming into this position. I think sometimes it's easy to get carried away with all the hype and everything that's coming around it.
Absolutely. And talk about pressure as well. Like, there's a lot of pressure on you. It's probably more pressure for the last fight because the British title around, and people that want to win it, it's a bit of a wolf pit, because they know what's at stake. You get beat for a British title. You can be waiting around for a while to get another shot, and you get disregarded at that level there. It's like, well, you got beat there. How are you going to get to there? So there's a lot of pressure on. Obviously, when I lost for the first time back in 2014 as well. So there's probably more pressure on that than there is this fight. But at the same time, I approach it the same. I don't think about what it's for. I don't think about the money. I don't think about the status. What I think about is my opponent and how I need to beat him, and doing everything I can do to beat him. And it works for me, visualizing things like that and that approach to it. And it'll be exactly the same for this fight. And it won't be till after when they announce it, I'll be like, oh yeah, it's for a world title. I totally disregard what it's for. So, and that mindset works for me.
It definitely sounds like you're in that element at the moment, you know, hard work. And I think potentially I can hear it through your voice that you're just itching now. You're ready for fight day. I think you want to get to that position and go on. In terms of your opponent, Kanzu, you know, this is an individual that we've seen, and I'm not sure whether many other people have. Massive, massive punch output, you know, fast puncher. What potentially have you seen for him, or if there's gaps in what you can do and try and exploit him?
It's all about perception. We've been working on loads of things to take away his best asset and help me get off what I'm good at as well without giving too much away. It's a bit similar to if you watch the build up from Mayweather Pacquiao. I know that's a big comparison, but if you watch the build up and there's videos going around and Pacquiao was throwing so many shots on the bag, brr, 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 and everyone's like, he's going to smash Mayweather. And I say, look, do you think Mayweather's going to stand there like that bag to be hit with 300 punches? It's not. And it's not about standing there running around the ring either, like I said in my last fight. There's so many ways to go about things, more than one way to skin a cat. And it's about how you approach fights, the tactics, and the skill set, information, and knowledge I've got on my team, which is going to help me get this win across the line.
You know, definitely, and I think that's a fair statement that you've just made there as well. We've mentioned, you know, Kanzu can do this and he can do that, but also let's not forget that you're known to be a ferocious puncher, and you're not just a puncher either. You are a boxer. You can do it on the inside, the outside, front foot, or back foot. So there's a lot potentially that you're taking into this fight. Do you think there's an element that maybe his team might have overlooked you?
I think so. Yeah, I think I did the first interview I did was with IFL, and I said straight away, Golden Boy have made a big mistake here. They've overlooked me. They might have seen that loss on my record against Dickens, and they might have seen that loss for. This is a good fight. It's a good fight for us. You know, he's lost in his last one out of his last two, and there couldn't be more wrong. But you know, it's what it is. Styles make fights. It's going to be a great clash of styles. You know, it's going to be a high output fight. I'll be a big puncher, and we've seen it time and time again. What normally happens, and what the end result is normally what happens with a big output fighter that's hands are always out and not by the chin. But I wouldn't be relying on my power. But I do think it will be a key factor in this fight.
Do you back yourself? And I suppose I'm answering my own question here in terms of the power that you've got. Do you feel that you can stop any featherweight in that division?
Absolutely. I think anyone that I'm hitting clean, I can definitely end a fight. But not just that as well. I'm extremely fit. I pride myself on being really fit. I live the life. I've got a massive heart. And one of my biggest attributes as well is I've not got an ego. You know, I can stand there and I can listen to criticism, and I can take on board new information and say, right, you need to do this, you need to stop doing this, and I can take that on board and get better. And if someone tells me, look, you need to win this fight, you need to do this, you need to not do this, you need to do that, done. Yeah. Other fighters think, well, this is what I'm good at, I want to do this, regardless of what it is. And I think being a fighter, being adaptable is probably the best asset you can have, as well as all the other things. And number one, the will to win. And I've got the will to win. So really big will to win.
And you definitely, you know, I can see it as there's more going on. I think you're enjoying talking about this fight, and definitely I would think that fight fans are in for a show. 31st, this is definitely going to be a fight not to miss. It's almost as if we're in a position now with where we're talking about your career that the stars have almost aligned with all of this, and what's going to follow on is not about redemption, but there's almost that opportunity for you to go back over potentially things that you've just mentioned there, that, you know, you had a loss against Jazza Dickens. Well, he's on the card next after you. You know, there's that potential, as you've said, for a massive unification fight. If you had to pick a winner from that, head over heart, who do you think the likelihood is to get that victory?
I do think Galahad is going to probably win over the stretch. Unless Galahad can pull something out of the bag, it's going to be a ferocious pace, and I think he'd have to pull something out of the bag and be very, very smart knowing to hold. He's got to do a lot of things to buy time later on in the fight. He's got a lot of experience. I'm not saying he can't do it, but it's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. And on the other hand, as well, you know, it's not a given for Galahad. If he performs like he did against Warrington, it's not going to be enough. But if he performs like he did in his last fight, then I think he'll get the victory. So it's one of them. It's a very close fight. Dickens has got the momentum as well. He's been in hard fights, regular. But yeah, I would stay towards Galahad, yeah.
And again, I'm sure, you know, as you just mentioned there, regardless of who comes through that fight, that's definitely a fight that you're interested in taking there, either with the potential of, if it's Galahad, you know, I'm sure he might argue the case to have it in Sheffield, but definitely I think your ambitions and everything that we've seen from social media to have that at the City Ground, I would imagine.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, you don't know who's going to win yet. Either way, it's a story. I've got redemption against Dickens. It's a big rematch. And I didn't box great the first time, and I lost on a split. The first southpaw box as a pro. A lot of things going on in my life as well, but no excuses. Better keep it on the night. But I'd love to put that right. And then obviously there's Galahad, who I trained alongside for 10 years. So, you know, it's old gym friend. So, yeah, either is a big story. It's a big fight for British boxing fans.
Definitely, again, you know, and I think this was a fight, as we've mentioned here. I think you retweeted something that we put out the other week. You know, why is he not fighting for a European title fight? And as we've mentioned previously, you've completely gone over that. You've now got yourself in a fantastic position, and we wish you every bit of success. Moving on, because I'm conscious of taking too much of your time. Last and final words to any fans or anybody out there watching.
I get a lot of criticism. People on Twitter sometimes, you know, they say, "Oh, he's going to get smashed," or this or that. And I did it for the Mold fight, you know. They say, "Oh, he's going to get knocked out." He's a big puncher. He spars with Warrington. He dropped Warrington. You hear loads of rumours on their approach to the fight, and I always retweet them. Because they tag me in them. I retweet them, and some people message me like, "Why are you retweeting them?" And other people, I don't know why he's doing that, because I like to share that with everyone, because it's not an insecurity, and it's not like I'm not feeling anything when I read that apart from thank you, I'm going to prove you wrong. That's all it is. So I feel like I retweet them, and I sometimes think, right, I'll go back to them after the fight. Gets to after the fight, and I think, you know what, winning's enough, but thank you for the fuel to do so in a kind of nice about way. A lot of people say this is a big jump from British title level to world title level. It is a big jump for someone that's just scraping through a British title level. British, Commonwealth, WBO, European, Commonwealth defence, all by knockout, and impressive knockouts as well. So it's not really like I'm scraping through a British title level and I'm jumping up to world title level. I'm winning British, Commonwealth, Europeanish level by knockout. Now I'm going to take my power up to the world stage. I'm going to be smart, and I'm going to get the job done. So everyone that's backing me, everyone that's giving us support, and everyone that's don't believe in me, thank you as well. And a week on Saturday, I'm going to be world champion.
Leigh, that was fantastic. I can't knock you for that speech at all. That was really interesting. That was a great insight to have there. As we mentioned before, you know, this is an absolute massive fight. 31st, guys, do not miss it. And there's the potential for us to have another British world champion. So please get behind Leigh Wood, and let's make sure we're all there. Whether you're live or whether you're watching at home on your TV, please, let's all jump on board with this. Leigh, you've been an absolute pleasure to have this afternoon. I'm truly grateful for the experience. Thank you ever so much,
Thanks for having me on, mate. Appreciate it.